Hi guys, welcome to Exploring Ancient History. Join me today as we go and check out Wayland Smithy, an ancient Neolithic long barrow that is around 5,500 years old. This site is about 20 minutes drive from where I live in Wiltshire, UK. Do come along for the journey. It's a little bit raining, it's getting into the evening now, but I always find the best place to visit these sites is either first thing in the morning or just as the sun is going down or just as the nighttime is coming. There's a certain majesty about these sites in those times. So we're going to get down there and hopefully give you guys a good view around the monument. Here we are on the Ridgeway. So Wayland Smithy is about a mile down the track that way. So what we're going to do is going to have a wander down here. So this road is the oldest road in the UK, without a doubt. It runs for 87 miles, starting from Overton Hill in Avebury, Neolithic complex, going all the way to Ivanhoe Beacon, which is an ancient signalling point. From there, you can see out for miles, a good way to send messages before the modern age. This road has been very well preserved. It's been a national trail since, I believe, the 70s. And we'll get down to Wayland Smithy. This is a 5,500-year-old Neolithic long barrow, three-chambered tomb, and was excavated in the 1870s and has been preserved, and some of the stones rewrited. We are on the last 50 feet or so until we get to the monument. We've just carried on walking down the Ridgeway, and then we're now just due south. We have Wayland Smithy. Here we are, we're just approaching Wayland Smithy, 5,500 years old, Neolithic long barrow, part of the Cotswold 7 long barrows. We're here at the Neolithic long barrow Wayland Smithy, named after the Saxon god Wayland, who was an otherworldly smith, who, the legend goes, if you were to leave a horse here overnight, who without a shoe, you'd return the following morning and the horse would have its shoe. The astronomer and academic John North has noted that circa 3700 BCE, this site aligns to Alpha and Beta Centauri in their winter rising positions. Like many of the Neolithic long barrows across the southwest, and particularly the 7 Cotswold long barrows, this tomb has 3 chambers. Now this would have originally had a roof, but now is exposed. And these 4 stones here have been repositioned to their original position when excavation work was carried out. Right, so here we go, let's take a look inside this chamber. So we've got one chamber here. We've got a second chamber on the right hand side. Now I originally believed the floors would be much lower than this. You can see at the base, down in this corner, you have feminine stones, the light limestone. And I believe, as we've seen at the other examples at West Kennet, that extends several feet up from the ground floor, so this is still yet to be excavated. But here we go, another fine example of negative stone touching masculine and masculine apart. These sites had a form of resonance, and I'll be making a video on that as we move forward. Now let me just give you a little look around the site. So as we see at many of these long barrows, pretty much all of them where they've remained intact, we have stones surrounding the outside. all the way around. And here we go, this is the view from the far end of the Long Barrow. That Alpha and Beta Centauri would have aligned up to this around 3700 BC, despite them not being visible today. Now this is due to a movement called precession, an event called the precession of the equinoxes. Every 25,920 years the stars complete a full cycle, and this cycle is caused by the slight wobble, similar to the spinning top as it loses momentum. So as our Earth spins around and goes around the Sun, we also have a slight offset wobble, and this causes the true North Pole to gravitate. Not the magnetic North Pole, but the true North Pole to deviate around over time. And this gives a different viewing of a different perspective of the stars from Earth. So at this site, 3700 BC, there is a clear alignment, and this is, funnily enough, around the time when they made the first structure here. So initially they made a wooden chamber. Several hundred years later they came back and completed the stonework we have here. The site was called Wayland Smith Cave prior to being excavated. These stones here had not been righted, and some of the repair work that you see down here, so you have Neolithic work and repair work. The Neolithics would never have put two types of stone that were masculinely charged together, such as you see here. But you can see here that this essentially is how it looked with these top chambers. Remains of 14 Neolithic people were found in this Long Barrow. While we do know that the Long Barrows were used to house bodies and sometimes parts of skeletons, sometimes placed ritualistically, sometimes indeed buried, what we certainly cannot rule out is the fact that these could also have been temples, places of worship. These sites were used over a very long period of time when the alignment to Alpha and Beta Centauri was no longer holding true on this location. This site seems to have no longer been in use, very similar to West Kennet Long Barrow. This shows me that this probably had a dual function of being a place where notables and people of maybe religion or shamans or whoever we want to call it were buried here, potentially nobility or high-ranking individuals. But it also seems they were used as temples, places that they were worshipped over time. People came here, they had alignments to the stars. A lot of our myths today, most of our myths all come from ancient star watching and ancient star lore. And it seems that this holds true in 3700 BC in this Neolithic era. And here at Wayland Smithy, you can really feel the thickness of the air, the age, very similar to West Kennet. You feel it slightly less here. The chamber's not fully excavated. You don't have the same sense of depth that you have at maybe Stony Littleton or West Kennet Long Barrows, the larger ones with 5 and 7 rooms. However, you do certainly feel the great age of this place. It also seems that as there is a correlation with the White Horse, maybe 1 mile further up the Ridgeway, Uffington White Horse, and at that horse there is an alignment with Taurus around 3200 BC. And it seems that this site may have well been contemporary with the White Horse. And it also shows that the Saxon myth of Wayland the Smith and his shoeing of shoeless horses could indeed go back way further, and it could have been adapted and taken by the Saxons from pre-existing traditions. That's the end of our video today with exploring ancient history. My name is Elliot, thank you. Please join us in the next few days as we explore Avebury at summer solstice, Uli Long Barrow, Stony Littleton Long Barrow. I'd also like to make a further video about the Ridgeway and exploring all the Iron Age hill forts that are listed along this road amongst Neolithic monuments such as this one. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you very much.